about that. You want your name back?
Actually, this is your little show. I'm just the main one. I'm just, that's how that rolls. I'm just the main one.
It's a great day to have a radio show. Trust us. The Eddie George Show, presented by Low T Center. Coming up, your phone calls. We welcome your chat with Eddie. And by the way, if you are catching up on TSU Tigers football, if you want to jump in, you want to talk about Ohio State's win over Notre Dame, I know this guy will talk about it with you.
Yeah.
I know we'll get into it with you on that.
Or college football in general.
Yeah.
Big games.
It was a solid week one. Solid week one.
Pitt in West Virginia.
And the fact they played for the first time in 11 years.
How's that happen? That's what bugs me too. That's a rivalry game that should never be touched. Ever. As we saw last week.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Example. We're going to dive into college football when we come back. A huge thanks to Low T Center for extending everything that they're doing with us here on the Eddie George Show on 102.5 The Game. If you need an annual health exam, I recommend going to Low T Center to get all of your complete health assessments. They will check all of your levels, not just your T level. In most cases, it's completely covered by your health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, it's less than $100 for a full lab panel, and an office visit with their medical provider is going to give you a complete health assessment here. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy, even verifying your insurance for you. If you don't live near a Low T Center or you just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com right now. You can book online. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
You're clear. High school football is here. Join Big Joe Dubin every Friday night at 6 for the Ample Collision Center's Game Blitz, presented by National Playmakers Academy.
Just a small sample of these great coaches in our area.
We'll go around the mid-state for scores and reports on all the big games.
If I'm a high school coach, I want the challenge.
The Game Blitz is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Some people were made to follow the instructions. We were made to make our own, to always measure twice and never cut corners. Unless, of course, we've got a compound miter saw. Northern Tool and Equipment is a problem solver's paradise. There's nothing we can't find, fix, or figure out together. We're made for this. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and the start of the NFL season is finally here, and the best place to practice your touchdown dance is on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel is kicking off week 1 for everybody. Doesn't matter if you're a new customer or have an account, you'll get free bets back if you don't win. Just log in and see for yourself. I really like the Titans and their week 1 matchup against the Giants. -5.5. Give me the Titans all day long on that. But you take it any way you want to take it. If you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, just sign up with promo code ROB to get started. Once again, that promo code is ROB. Either way, you can celebrate the return of football season with a no-sweat bet during week 1. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, or build out a same-game parlay as well for a chance to win a bigger payout with a small bet. Whatever you do, make sure you do it on FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. A max refund of $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
O'Reilly. Improve fuel mileage with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system can increase Techron Fuel System Cleaner starting at $9.99 and earn 10 times O Rewards points on your purchase. Get the most out of every gallon. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop O'ReillyAuto.com today.
Coming back.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is the Eddie George Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're up. The Eddie George Show rolls on, presented by Low T Centers. They specialize in men's health, making it quick and easy to verify your insurance. LowTCenter.com for more. The Eddie George Show means we're going all over the place. Every hour of every week that we are live here on The Game from 6 to 7 Monday evenings. We hope on your drive home or as you pregame for Monday Night Football, you're either joining us live and in person at 6th and Peabody with Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine, or you're joining us on the radio on 102.5, or I think we're even live on. Are we live right now on video as well? We are live stream right here.
Live stream, nice.
Yeah.
Hello.
Got to be careful. Got to be careful with all the single finger salutes I give Chase McCabe down here to my left. Shout out to Max Hers, Ladarius Robinson for making the show happen for us this evening, and for Eddie George for having me back on the Nashville Airways locally hosting the show.
Man, good to see you. Great venue, right?
It's perfect.
Now, these, I'm just looking around.
What are you looking over here?
Is that moonshine?
This over here is their Ownsby whiskey.
Okay, whiskey, right?
They've got their own whiskey line. They have their old smoky. They have bourbon as well.
Bourbon, okay, I see
and
it.
then all the moonshine is sitting behind us.
You know, I've never had the moonshine in my entire life. Steve McNair always wanted me to come down to Mississippi with him and his brothers around a fire and four-wheelers and sip on some moonshine. I said, Steve, I wish I could. I got this, that. But, you know, I regret that. I wish I would have taken the time out to do that with him.
And there is no doubt that how quickly, Eddie, do you think it would take for you not to remember anything? Like just done. The white lightning at the McNair farm.
Oh.
This is like under federal legislation and state laws and taxes.
Yeah.
It'll show you on the bottle what the proof is. There's no way you knew the proof there.
No. I probably one sip and I'm probably knocked out for 3 weeks. I probably wouldn't feel anything. I probably wouldn't feel my shoulders and knees and all that.
So they do moonshine tastings here. Quick plug.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. $10 moonshine tastings. I believe you get 6 or 7 tastings, and they're a little inside scoop for those listening. They try to trick you because they give you a real shot to begin.
Really?
And when you take it, you're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this.
Really? So what's your favorite flavor?
My favorite flavor was butter pecan.
Butter pecan.
It was great. Do you like Jolly Ranchers?
Who doesn't?
Okay. Well,
who doesn't like Jolly Ranchers?
I would say they're blue raspberry. Blue raspberry with Jolly, that is my favorite Jolly Rancher.
I love cherry. Cherry's the best for me.
They have moonshine soaked cherries. You can have a cherry limeade soaked in moonshine here at 6th and Peabody.
See, after the show, we need to sample that. I think that's I'm not driving. I am Ubering, so this is my day off. It's Labor Day. As a matter of fact, happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you, right?
Yes. Laboring on Labor Day. Yes. Eddie George. I would say next week we should do a live tasting in the final segment of the show.
Why not? Absolutely.
So here's the trick, though. They give you the full shot, and then the rest are those little communion shots, right? So you end up getting about 2.5, and you're not – I mean, you're totally fine afterwards.
Yes.
But I like the trick because you see people come in, you're like, man, it's 1:30 in the afternoon, you know.
They're looking for a place to lay down, right?
Oh, here we go. Walter Blackman here at 6th and Peabody taking care of us. Appreciate you.
Thank you for that glass of water. Appreciate it. Thank you.
The Cerveza, which is like a Corona, is how I describe this. They again, come out next Monday and join us for the TSU Coaches Show. I'm calling it that because we have TSU head coach Eddie George here. It's the Eddie George Show. College football was awesome. I was stunned. No, stunned is not the right word. I was stunned at Oregon. I was surprised by Notre Dame keeping up with Ohio State the way they did. With Marcus Freeman, I think he's going to be – I know he's a good friend of yours, and I'm not saying this because you're sitting here. I think he's going to be an outstanding head coach. I thought he would struggle more in that environment in game number 1 with that team when their coach just bailed on them to go to LSU. There's a lot of dynamic and behind the scenes with that.
Yeah.
And they went on the road and the defense traveled, as it does.
Yep.
And they held their own against one of the top teams in the country. And going in, I predict Ohio State to win the championship. I'm very high on the Buckeyes this year.
The Buckeyes are strong, without a doubt. I mean, they have firepower offensively. They retooled the defense. I thought the defense played well.
Yeah.
But going back to Marcus Freeman, who is a product from Ohio State, so he understands the blueprint of Buckeye Nation. He's not intimidated by it. He can speak to it.
Right.
So he had his team prepared for what they were going to experience going into that stadium. And like to your point, defense travels. Okay, and Marcus has been around. He's been under Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. He's been around the MAC, prior to taking the Cincinnati job and in the Notre Dame job. So, it was no surprise to me that he was going to have those guys keyed up and ready to play for him in that stadium. And I have to agree. I thought it would be a bludgeoning, because Ohio State, the way they looked, how they finished off the year against Utah was, my God, unbelievable. But, he went in there with the defensive game plan. Offensively, I was concerned how many points they would be able to score against Ohio State. So he shortened the game, made it close. Ohio State finally relied on their run game and started making plays thereafter because they were struggling, to get their passing game going where they're accustomed to doing it. The Ryan Days used to have it.
Ohio State, man, I would say two elite backs because Williams now behind Henderson. I mean, that is a true 1-2 punch. And it's a 1A, 1B. It's not number 1 and number 2.
No. Mayan, oh, my God. Whew, you talk about a back.
Yeah.
I love that kid because he runs behind his pads. He runs physical, and he's selfless. I had a chance to go spend time with Ryan Day this offseason just to look at best practices and just to see what they're doing, practice-wise, sit in the meeting room just to listen, learn. Sat with the running backs, and Mayan, he could easily be like, hey, you know what, thank you, Ohio State, but I want to go somewhere else where I can be the guy. And he's like, no, I'm a Buckeye. I'm going to see it through. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to help these young boys, become better men in terms of a better running back room. And he's earning his. And that's what I love about him. He's selfless. And he understands that, hey, if Henderson is hot, let him have it. If I get going, great. But that's what a teammate is, and that's what I love about him, man. But for the most part, it's such a clearly a young college football season. So many great games. The Oregon deal really, really shocked me. And it hurts the Pac-12 tremendously because now with UCLA and USC leaving for the Big Ten, the next best team is Oregon, and it didn't bode well for the Pac-12 at all. Even Florida. Although Utah made it a close game, I think they didn't win any big games this weekend except for USC. They played Rice. But in terms of those Power 5 matchups, it was not a good showing for the Pac-12 at all.
Yeah, Utah goes on the road. They're as hyped as they're going to be. They have a coach that's been there now for 18 years. He's the longest tenured coach in the Pac-12.
Love him.
And they've got the quarterback, they've got the defense. They're ready to go on the road and win in the Swamp against an unranked SEC school. Now, you could say they were overlooked, and that's fair, but they were an unranked SEC school, and the Pac-12's best fell on the road to an unranked SEC school. That's just the perception. Perception's reality in many cases in the minds of the voters. Utah, though, they can run the table and still get into the college football playoff. Oregon, Eddie, there have been 2 teams since '84, and I'm not going to be able to name them. I can't name one of them. 2 teams since '84 that have lost by 45 plus. No, 45 plus. Excuse me, 45 plus in opening weekend, ranked in the top 25. That remain at the end of the season ranked in the top 25.
Nebraska was one of them.
Nebraska was not.
They lost to Colorado, I think, wasn't it, in 01?
It was Virginia in '84, and USC. This was 2016 or 15, they opened the season against Alabama. They lost like 56-6 or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Those are the two.
Yeah.
In the modern, like, FBS era, it's very difficult to lose the way Oregon did and actually end the season on a high note. So keep an eye there. But you're right. I mean, it's the O on the helmet, right?
Yes,
and for the Pac-12, that matters.
That does matter. And again, we'll have to wait and see. But, it's a long season. So many great games. Again, this weekend, last weekend, I just love this time of the year.
Half hour to go on the Eddie George Show presented by the Low T Center. We welcome your phone calls at 615-737-1025. 737-1025 is where you can call in live with Eddie George and join us here at 6th and Peabody. When we come back, we'll transition. We'll discuss NFL. We'll circle back around to college football and talk anything you want, honestly. Join us on the sports discussion next for the Eddie George Show presented by Low T Centers.
Clear.
Effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
Labor Day is here, and that means huge savings in every department at Electronic Express. Get up to 40% off the latest 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. That's not all. Save big on laptops, speakers and headphones, smart home, and more. Up to 50% off all your appliance needs in stock and ready to deliver. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing. The Labor Day sales event is going on now at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Ever tried to shop for a diamond online? They all look great on the computer screen, but the fact is, most reputable jewelers like Genesis Diamonds wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole.
These are the diamonds that nobody wants to buy. We call them the B-quality diamonds.
That's Genesis owner Boaz Ramon, who says that even diamonds with the same grade and specs on paper can be very different when you see them up close in person, especially the ones from online dealers.
Those diamonds gonna look always cloudy or dirty. It's like you're wearing your glasses and there is fingerprints all over the glass. You just don't understand, or nobody told you that the material that this diamond was cut from was not the best material.
Why risk it? At Genesis Diamonds, they screen thousands of diamonds and only choose the best of the best for maximum brilliance, sparkle, and luster. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
I'm Boaz Ramon, and my accent is always on value.
Hey, coming up on the Tuesday edition of Chase, Willie, and D-Mace, we'll get you set for Week 1 of the NFL with ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck at noon. Plus, we'll talk to Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee at 1:30. The party starts at 10. Coming back. 106.3 The Game.
Hey, Nashville, this is David Poyle. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 The Game.
You're up.
The Eddie George Show presented by Low T Center on 102.5 The Game. We welcome your phone calls at 615-737-1025. We are watching the highlights, Eddie, of North Carolina and Appalachian State. You were about to go through warm-ups. You're probably on the team bus.
Yes.
Headed over to Eastern Washington as this game is concluding.
Yes.
Because this was an 11 a.m. Central kickoff. This was nuts, man. This back and forth, 60-plus points scored, and a combined 60 over the last duration of this game set like some type of new record. It was so mind-boggling with the onside kicks, going for two, I won't return an
insane.
onside kick for a score. I mean, it was nuts, and it was perfect for college football. And I'll end by saying this. I'm glad North Carolina went on the road to Appalachian State.
I was just about to say that.
This atmosphere, I mean, we need more of this instead of games at the Georgia Dome or the Louisiana Superdome.
Yes, at App State. The game that I thought it was basketball season. I mean, that's a basketball 63-61, and Mac Brown is smiling after giving up 61 points. Hey, but you know what? You get the win. You win it either way. You figure the stuff out later. But that score was mind-boggling to me. But what a great atmosphere to go to with their an FCS school. To go there, because typically you'll see them come to their venue and play there, or like a neutral site, like you mentioned. But to go to their home and to play at App State, I thought that was an awesome deal. And hopefully we can see more of those type of matchups and those type of games.
So the North Carolina government mandates that they play so many of these schools every so often.
Oh, really?
And I don't know the real. I need to look into this deeper. But so NC State, due to I believe it was a hurricane issue, a weather issue, East Carolina was playing Miami, and they couldn't play it there. So they played at neutral site in Raleigh at NC State. And East Carolina won that game. The fan base storms the field. Great crowd. They tear down the goalpost, natural turf. So, they've torn up their turf at NC State. So NC State says, we're not going to play you again. And the government jumped in, legislators, and said, no, you need to play these. We're going to mandate that you play these teams. Long story short, they're playing. Now, it's not mandated they go on the road. NC State also went on the road this weekend to East Carolina. And East Carolina should have won that game. They missed a field goal at the end and an extra point.
Yeah, I saw the highlights of that.
But to your point, I wish we would see more of that
I think we
locally and regional.
I think we will. Once we start to nail down the landscape of college football moving forward with the conferences, I don't think the realliance is over by no means. I think there's still more movement to be made. I think you'll see a different governing body over these power conferences that's being formed. I believe players will be paid, and they're going to make their own rules. And I think we'll have a chance to see more of these matchups that we're seeing now more frequently than before. So college football is forever changing, and they're finally getting with the times and realizing that, hey, NIL deals have been happening forever. Now they're just making it above board. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're making
now the
it
fans
right
know about it.
Now the fans, but the players also know about it, and they're doing something about it. And it's something that needs to be had across the board. I'm not talking about just for football or men's basketball. I'm talking about for women's sports, women's volleyball, women's baseball, softball, women's basketball. Because you have some very talented young ladies, and championships are being won that they can't take advantage of their name, image, or likeness. And I don't know what the dollar value is, but there's a dollar value to that, and they need to take advantage of that. And there's so much money to be made. They have to figure out a way to be creative to where, hey, this is now a business. How do we make it equal among all people, make it fair and square?
It is the Eddie George Show. TSU fan support out there here at 6th and Peabody, but also on the phones at 615-737-1025. Max, let's go to David calling from right here in Nashville. David, welcome in.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, man. Hey, you are officially the first caller.
The first caller.
On the Eddie George Show.
Well, it's a lot more of us out there, and they probably didn't know about this radio show,
They're going to.
Yeah.
What do you got, David?
Yeah, Eddie, let me ask you something. What is the administration, athletic department, you and everybody else to get the fan support back like it used to be? Now, trust me, the fan support is out here, but TSU has suffered for 5 or 6 years, and people have lost interest in it. But the team that I saw was the best team that I've seen there at least 5 or 6 years. And congratulations to you and the staff for that.
Thank you, David. I agree with you, by the way. I was thoroughly impressed with what I saw despite the final score this past Saturday. He's saying what he saw was better than anything he's seen in 5 or 6 years, and he hopes the fan support is increased because of that.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it. We still want to get the W at the end of the day. And it's a long process. You know, our AD, Mickey Allen, is here tonight. I'm going to have him come up here in a few minutes. It's as a guest. But he's working very hard to change that, to change the rhetoric around Tennessee State for what we're known for at this point in time. I mean, Tennessee State has been at the top of the mountain for several years. You just want to make it sustainable. So it takes time. And all I can do is what I can control, and that's what I'm doing with this team day in and day out, and put the best product on the football field that TSU fans can be very proud of.
Let's go back to the phone lines presented by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Michael is next up. Michael, welcome in.
How you doing?
Hey, Mike, how you doing,
brother? Great, man.
Oh, pretty good, Eddie. Hey, man, I was really impressed with the way the team performed Saturday. Even though we didn't get the W, I mean, there were a lot of positives. Devin Starlin is a beast. I think that guy is one of the best backs in FCS or FBS football. Maybe you should not start that guy again because he came out and ran with a vengeance.
Yeah, do that again, Eddie.
I mean, I think every time he touched the ball, he ran mad.
Yeah.
You know, we got to get him the ball more. And, I mean, the offense, I think, was really good. One thing I was a little bit disappointed with, I mean, last year the defense was solid. It was really good. I thought that this defense played pretty well today. We just didn't put enough pressure on their quarterback. I mean, that guy had a field day back there throwing to his receivers. If we could have put some pressure on him, we scored enough points to win.
Yes.
You know, they scored more than we scored. Well, and obviously, that's the problem. And we're going to face the same thing, obviously, next week with Jackson. So Sanders looked pretty tough.
Yes. Well, the good thing is two things. We put our defense in a bad situation, turned the ball over twice in our own end zone, in our own end of the field, and they took advantage of that. You can't do that on the road against a team that's used to putting up, 70 points, 60 points in a game in that conference. But the good thing is, the bright side is, our defense only gave up 7 points in the second half, and they made adjustments. And we lost some key players during that time frame. We lost our two of our defensive end, our starting defensive tackle. Teray was dinged up a little bit. We lost two of our linebackers. One to a penalty. Another one was injured. So, our young guys stepped up and made plays, and they kept it close. And that's going to pay off at some point during the season. Where they've got the experience to say, hey, and the confidence to say, hey, you know what? We went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the country on their home turf and came within one drive of tying the game up or possibly winning it with a 2-point conversion. So, in the other second side of that is, yes, we're playing Jackson State. We played them last year. So we understand what we're going up against. And no matter who we're playing, if our defense does not have disciplined eyes and follow the coaching that's being coached, the details, the nuances of what we're teaching, then anybody can carve up our defense. So we're going to have to be mindful of that. It is a great challenge for us. I think we're really looking forward to this being the final game against Jackson State for the foreseeable future at the Southern Heritage Classic. And we're excited to play them and get better because of it. So, we're just going to put a great game plan together, get better this week, do our job, do what we do best, and, roll it out there and see what happens.
TSU takes on Jackson State in the Southern Heritage Classic this Saturday. Coverage will begin at 5:30 on 102.1 The Ville, and then shift to 94.9 The Fan at the conclusion of the Nashville Sounds game, and you can hear all the games on 94.9 The Fan throughout the season. It is the Eddie George Show. We are back with more, presented by the Low T Center.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
Any rain pop-ups won't be as heavy or widespread as Sunday, with the flash flood watch lifting for all of the mid-state by 7 tonight. Scattered storms are possible through midweek before picking back up by the weekend. For Fox 17 News, I'm Kylie Walker.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face truck today. Who do you call when you need a new floor? R&S Wood Flooring, or replenish the old one that you've got. R&S Wood Flooring. R&S, R&S, R&S Wood Flooring. Bring beauty to every room in your home. R&S Wood Flooring.
R&S Flooring is Nashville's leading flooring company for over 30 years. Say no to inflation and save big this summer at R&S Flooring. Save on all hardwoods, tile, carpet, and LVT flooring. Take advantage of our 12 months same as cash financing and don't make a payment until 2023. Simply go online at rnsflooring.com and schedule your free estimate today. No waiting, no hassles. It's that easy. Call 615-771-0084 today and schedule your free in-home estimate. Or visit us online at rnsflooring.com and start visualizing your new floors today.
R&S Wood Flooring. R&S Wood Flooring. R&S Wood Flooring.
At Cromwell Media, we take great pride in the tenure of our team. This month, big shout-outs go to 2 members of our sales team, Jeff Colt for 11 years and Matt Saggio for 6 years. Thanks, guys. Jared Cassidy, a part-time producer for 102.5, 106.3 The Game, has been a teammate for 3 years. Finally, audio engineer Ladarius Robinson and Tina Jackson in our corporate office are celebrating their first anniversaries. Want to be part of our success? Send us a note at together@cromwellmedia.com and tell us about yourself. We could be celebrating you next year.
Long weekends are all about getting a little you time. And at the Home Depot, you time means you building, you drilling, you doing, you recharging, you saving, and you going back for more. Do Labor Day your way and get a free 18-volt battery with select Milwaukee Power Toolkit purchases at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is the Eddie George Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
So a request to Chase McCabe, the program director at 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan. We don't have long enough breaks because Eddie's been eating this food now for like an hour or so. AD Mickey Allen with us as well, the boss man.
Yes, my man.
What's up, fella?
The AD of the year right here.
Hey, man. Hey,
the Eddie George Show rolls on,
sir.
presented by Low T Center. A great environment here at 6th and Peabody. We will recommend this to everyone each Monday night, 6 o'clock. We are live here on 102.5 The Game. And, I mean, you've got Eddie sitting here next to you.
Oh, yeah.
I told him whenever we sat down, Mickey, I said, the team I saw on Saturday was different than the team I saw last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you willing to say that to him as the boss?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all of this is coming to fruition, right? And, you know,
I see the plan.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
He talked about the type of team that he wanted to have. The physicality that we showed when we were there, it was straight downhill, you know, bludgeon, as Coach likes to say.
Of course.
You know, we don't hide anything, but our guys have been conditioned that way. He's been a big part of that in all season.
How would you guys describe the environment of the Southern Heritage Classic this weekend?
It's electric.
Yeah, electric.
Yeah, that's the adjective for it. And, you know, it's been a long, rich tradition in terms of the game and just what it does.
33rd edition this weekend.
33rd edition. And Tennessee State has been on the better side of those
those
matchups, right? But, you know, we're looking forward to it.
Well, and I mean it's an event. You get there, like I'm sure you'll do the luncheon with Dion, right?
Yes.
Just like you did last year. It's a different schedule for a game week, a bit.
Yeah, it's more event driven.
Yeah.
Than it is.
And that's fair. It should
about
be.
the game.
I like it.
Listen, that's how it's always.
You signed
been.
up for this, Eddie.
Hey, and I don't mind it.
Well, you and Dion get along too.
Yeah, I mean, this week we don't, but I have nothing but the utmost respect for Coach Prime. I mean, he's Prime. I was a fan growing up. I had the opportunity to compete against him, both now as a head coach and as a player. And I've reached out to him on several occasions about best practices and things I should be doing, thinking about as a head coach. And that's the beauty of the brotherhood of playing in the NFL. Actually, we're in the same Hall of Fame class in college football in 2011. And so it's great. And to be a part of this great game, this is such a rich history, like Coach Mickey Allen alluded to, that to be a part of it is awesome. And to have it now where last year was this coming off the heels of COVID. So it was some people were there with masks on, some people wasn't. It was weird. It was very weird.
Yeah, you didn't know what to do.
This year is raw and uncut, right? No mask. So people are
back.
out there. They're back. So we anticipated on being a full house and hopefully it'll be more TSU Tiger fans than Jackson State fans. But more all in all, we want to put on a good performance and hopefully we'll come away with a victory.
So. And this is why I signed up to do the Eddie George show, Mickey, because I can dive in on questions like this.
Okay.
Is Dion there for the long haul, or is he jumping to Florida State, or?
You asking me or Mick?
Well, Eddie will give me a straight answer. We're about to find out if Mickey Allen will.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. Like Coach said, I think he's doing a phenomenal job. They both are. Different styles, elevating HBCUs, but a lot of Power Fives are going to come after both of them. I know that. Their AD knows that.
Nick Saban this offseason mentioned two programs with NIL he didn't like. He named A&M without naming them. And then he referenced Jackson State.
Well,
the fact that Nick Saban didn't go to Tennessee's got allegedly some $2 million quarterback playing high school football right now.
Right.
He didn't mention Knoxville. He mentioned Jackson State.
Which I find interesting.
That's a tip of the cap.
It is a tip of the cap because he's been able to do some great things, but they're also doing Aflac commercials together. so
it's a dollar bill attached.
Right. So I'll mention you, but hey, to each his own. But that's the day and age we're in. It's the wild, wild west when it comes to NIL deals, and given where we are in Nashville, Tennessee, there are some unique opportunities that we're exploring with our business community, with former alumni that are in the Nashville area to help enhance that side of it, because there's some great things. We've partnered with the EC here, the Entrepreneur Center of Nashville, with their flight program to get some of our kids to over there to understand how to build a business. One of our young athletes has a candle business, and he's already sold 1,000 candles to a convention. And so I'm not necessarily just saying, hey, here's a product that you need to endorse and get paid for, but no, let's build your business and teach you how to build the business and have it sustainable for a long period of time. And that's where we're thinking completely outside of the box on this deal, not just getting an Audi deal or a Lamborghini deal, but saying, hey, I'm going to teach you how to fish for the long term.
Well, it reminds me of what you're doing with your legacy fund.
Right.
It's the same concept.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you use it to the kids' benefit that will benefit them long term. So
yes.
Completely with you on that. I promised I would ask Eddie about this for our listeners. Titans coming up, they're opening up the season this weekend against the New York Giants. This is Derrick Henry prior injury, right? Like they're going to use him no less than they did before. That's my opinion, but
oh no, I think they're going to use him.
No less.
No less.
Here we go.
I think it's that, but the Hassan Haskins, the kid from the team up north. He
means Michigan, for those that don't know.
I watched him when he got drafted. He's body type. He has the look. He has the speed. I think
he's bigger in person too.
Oh, he is. He's impressive, and I think he might be the second answer to Derek. I don't know when that is. If it's this year, next year, but the Titans are going to look different than when they have in the past. They don't have the threat outside yet. He still has to prove his worth, in terms of that. He can stretch the field, but it's going to look much like a tight end, like the heavy tight end sets, a lot of inside runs, and it's going to be, a situation where it might be 3 yards in a cloud of dust and play action earlier on. So, but I anticipate Derek on coming out healthier. When you talk about running backs, you look at their threshold for number of carries, the volume of carries. And typically, a good running back will get 1,500. An exceptional running back will get somewhere north of 2,500 to 3,000. The elite Hall of Famers are 3,000 and over. Derek is right under 1,500. So he still has a lot of tread on his tires. And I think we all can agree that he has, Hall of Fame type of games. There are seasons, and, he has that athletic ability. He's a generational back. We haven't seen a man that size and that powerful being able to run away from people like that, on a consistent basis. So he still has a lot of tread on the tires, and I think he's going to have another exceptional year.
Eddie, we have a minute left. What would you like change for next week as far as what we're doing for the Eddie George Show?
Oh man, change. Listen. I think I'm an organic guy. I don't see anything as of yet. I think, just a tasting of. We have Mick up here of the moonshine shots.
Yep. We're gonna do the moonshine tasting live on air next week.
Okay. So we do moonshine tasting. But I would like to see more fans come out. I'd like to see more TSU alumni come out.
Absolutely.
Make some more events around this. More, some of our alumni.
Location's great.
Location's great.
Yeah.
And have it, be more that sell a few tickets. Season tickets, so we can have the stands packed. So
he's a fundraiser too now.
Hey. Trust me, I know. I've seen the ticket prices. Props, brother.
Awesome, man.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Go get them this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have fun in Memphis.
All right, big time.
Dr. Mickey Allen has been our guest here for the Eddie George Show. And if you didn't know, now you know. Every Monday night at 6 o'clock, the Eddie George Show, presented by Low T Center. And hey, if you got some cigars, smoke them if you got them. That's the motto of Cigars, Cocktails, and Conversation. I want that to be to carry over to Eddie George's radio show as well.
And we'll have some exciting guests in the future as well.
No doubt. Join us each and every week at this time right here on 102.5 The Game. For Eddie George and Dr. Mickey Allen, I'm Jonathan Hutton saying so long until next week, next Monday at 6 o'clock for the Eddie George Show, presented by Low T Center.
Electronic Express